All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer with Brian the Grizzly, Chillmonger, and Big Afford Entertainment. Anzo, what is up, guys?
Hey,
Doing
what's
good?
up, guys?
What's
yeah.
up?
Hello, Chicago.
Hey, and the world. But yeah, so he's got his but he's got his Chicago rep down there with the CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Yep. So that's awesome. So yeah, so
Spawning time.
Exactly.
Yep. So we're gonna talk about Spawn. Before we get into Spawn, we're gonna have Chill. Have you introduce your channel a little bit? So
if you don't know about my channel, what are you doing? It's my favorite YouTube channel. It's called Chillmonger, where I chit chat the Marvel stuff, some Star Wars and DC too. I might dip into the comic books here and there. It's the best place about YouTube.
Yep.
At least, especially on Saturdays at noon.
Especially on the noons that I have Brian join me with Tank and Anzo as well.
Yeah. The 33 burning questions is genius, man. It's a great.
No matter what I'm
great
doing,
thing.
I'm like, it's 12, 33 noon.
It's 12 o'clock Central. You show up at Chillmonger on a Saturday. That's right.
The times I've been driving around city doing my errands with that playing in the car speaker.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, and
then
the
we
thing
got
is, you can do Marvel, you can do Star Wars, you can do Avatar, you can do a lot of different topics with the question genre. It's cool.
You do a great job with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Super great.
And just to know, there will be no more T'Challa talk on the 33 burning questions.
No, it's over now. No more talking about bringing back the best.
No more.
Oh. All right. My bad.
I'm jumping in the comments just to bring it up then.
T'Challa, what?
Yeah.
Just bringing it. And then we got
skip him for that comment. Just figure it out.
Yeah. We got Anzo from the Big Afford Entertainment. Where can people find you at?
You guys can find me at Big Afford Entertainment. We do a lot of pop culture stuff, a lot of real life stuff. And Chill said he has the best YouTube channel, but I have to go against that and say Big Afford Entertainment has the best YouTube channel out there, guys. So make sure you subscribe and watch the stuff that we do over there. There's no shame in being number 2, Chill.
No comment. If he wants to believe that he's the number one, it's fine. It's great. I support your dreams and everything. You know. High five.
There you go. High five.
My man.
There
you go.
That was pretty good. Yeah. So make sure you give both of them a sub and tell one of them who's number one, who's the real number one. But we're gonna talk about Spawn in this week's episode of our Black Excellence in Cinema. We've done another episode with you guys talking about The Harder They Fall, so we decided to go a little bit farther back, doing a comic book movie before that was even a genre. Yes. And we're talking about Spawn from 1997. Todd McFarlane's creation that came on screen, and just the importance of seeing not just a comic book character done well, because we didn't see that much before, but also seeing a black man be a comic book character on screen, and the importance of that. So, exactly. Brian, you got anything you need to say before we bring it to our guest?
This kind of thing what I was talking about before. It's not just we're going to do black stories, we're going to do black directors, we're going to do black characters, because all of them kind of contribute to this representation, the idea of representation. So this is when we say black movies, it's going to be all of them. It's for all of us to really enjoy, to see ourselves, and to dream big, and to realize you can do anything. You can be inspirational for everyone, for us, for our kids, for our cousins, everyone to be inspired to do the best that they can. That's the idea of Black excellence. This is why we're going to continue to push this genre, and we're going to grab as many people during this time so they can realize that there's Black excellence all year round. And we'll continue to do those things. And I appreciate you guys coming to watch this one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So with that one being said, Spawn is probably one of my favorite martial artists ever. Michael Jai White
is unbelievable.
Amazing. He's amazing. I mean, he can legit hurt some people. It's not just he's good with martial arts on screen. No, he's got skills. He's got really, really good skills.
My favorite story of Michael Jai White is that he was out there with someone talking all this stuff, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, I got a pretty good kick." And Michael Jai White's like, "Oh really? I got a great kick too." And he helps hold the bag, and he kicks the ball bag, and he breaks the chain and knocks it across the gym. And he was like, "Yeah." And everyone was like, "What the
Is it
Michael Jai White
recorded?
just do this?
Is this on
So,
film?
so this is not on film, but they all talk about it. And
That's the story.
What's his name from UFC?
I think Joe Rogan
Life?
Joe
talked
Rogan.
about it.
So Joe Rogan was talking about how good his sidekick was, and Michael Jai White came and showed him how good he was.
Yeah.
And everyone else was like, "What the hell? That's the baddest man I've ever seen in my life." You see him with Kimbo Slice. That's real. The stuff that he's telling Kimbo Slice, he blows people's mind. That's how Michael Jai White really is. He's
Absolutely
that crazy. And seeing him as a superhero, in my mind, he was already a superhero. So now seeing him as a superhero was so awesome to me. That's why I had to do Spawn.
And I agree with you because he has another story where he did a movie with Steven Seagal, right? And they're talking about how Steven Seagal likes to hurt and hit the stunt doubles when he's fighting. And Michael Jai White said he knew better not to even attempt that with me, right? You can't mess with Michael Jai White. And I agree with you 100%. When Spawn came out, I personally didn't know much about Spawn in the comic, but when I seen it, I was like, oh, wow, a black superhero, because we only had Blade before that, right? And Spawn was such a good movie, man. Doesn't hold up today, but if you watch the story and, you know, forget about the CGI, it's great. It is great.
It's a movie where we had Michael Jai White, we have John Leguizamo's in it. That's great. I mean, we had some really good cast.
Martin Sheen was in it too.
Martin Sheen, I forgot he is probably the main bad guy. You know, I don't know if you know Teresa Randall, but she's like the wife in Bad Boys 2. She's Martin Lawrence's wife there.
Wanda.
Yeah,
she's Wanda.
She's a great casting. I loved her.
Absolutely, me too.
But you know, just for the movie, read the synopsis. It's a covert government assassin, Al Simmons, is killed after being double-crossed by his boss, James Wynn, who's Martin Sheen. Upon arrival to Hell, Simmons is offered the opportunity to return to Earth if he's willing to lead the evil army, Hell's Army. He accepts it and is reincarnated as Hellspawn, a twisted, horribly disfigured version of his former self. However, Spawn serves as a force of good as much as dismay to Devil's Henchman, a wicked clown played by John Leguizamo. That's kind of like that's the synopsis. What do you guys think about this movie?
I thought that it was a very old movie and it doesn't hold up, but I wasn't in it for there was the boss and there was the story. It was all about the characters who showed up and did, and like the Violator dude, his one-liners. Hey, look at my skid marks. Like I remember that. It's freaky. And I remember it. He was a good character for that reason, and I've always wanted to see him talk even more. I think that's the legacy of the film. As far as we go at representation, you guys remember a theme? There's like that Disney movie Soul, where his name was Joe, but the character turned into like a soul for some of the movie. Princess and the Frog, she turned into a frog for some of the movie. You get somebody black on screen and you hide them behind whether it's an animal or a mask. And I can't help but notice that the first 10 minutes of the movie, fine, Michael Jai White, and then there he goes. Was he still in the suit though? Do we know if it was the actor playing?
It was Michael Jai White playing all the stunts. He did all the stunts. He didn't even have a stunt.
They always say that though. What makes you believe that he was really?
I've watched YouTube of Michael Jai White doing the stuff. Like Michael Jai White is the baddest man I've ever seen.
He's a 2-in-1 stunt actor and a performer.
Yeah, exactly what he is.
Yeah. Actually, that's what he is. Yeah, that is. Yeah, what Chill said, they do that a lot. Where like Princess and the Frog is probably the biggest one I've noticed. It's like, hey, you got her, and then she's a frog for almost all the movie.
I disagree. I think actually that it happens all the time, and this is what this is where we come from. The reason I chose Spawn also was because it shows where we've come from and where we've gone. And now it says it's time for us to take another step.
Black Panther covers his face too all the time. I mean, he's also from the 60s, I know.
But you also get to see him as as a man, as T'Challa, as a king, as a leader, and all those things. But we had to get there, so we had to take baby steps. So we had to take Blade, who's a vampire. We had to become Spawn, who's a hell spawn. Like it had took baby steps to get to where we needed to go. But without these movies, we never would have gotten there. So that's why it's important to kind of talk about these, because literally it paved the way. You know how
Kind
many,
of,
how-
kind
you
of.
know
But
how
I
many
think
years they fought trying to get Black Panther made? Years.
The movie.
Ike
Yeah.
Perlmutter is the reason why.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with Spawn. I think that as soon as Kevin Feige was made president, he's like, boom, I'm doing what he said we were not going to do: a woman lead movie and Black Panther as
Black
well.
movie. Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the
But-
the genre of superheroes comes from these things. Because when you talk,
Yeah.
if I talk about black superheroes, I mean I'm thinking about what have I seen? Meteor Man, which is a B movie. You know, but Robert Townsend did whatever he could do to make. Blank Man was a joke for Damon Wayans. Hancock.
Mhm.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like Spawn, Blade, that's all the things that we had. You know, so it's without giving those, you don't just get something because it's because you have to go through steps. You have to support the movies. And this is not ranked high on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, but you know what? It made money. They had a $40 million budget. It made almost $90 million. So that's what I'm saying. Like it made money. It tells you you can do a black story and make money. And money is important, especially when you're trying to get things made.
Absolutely, 100%. And like you said, they didn't make a crazy amount of money, right? But they made profit. So at the end of the day, the studio said, well, you know what? We can at least try and attempt to do these movies, right? Because people will go see them, right? Now, we ended up getting the first Black Panther that almost made $2 billion, which is a great help, you know, but like you said, without Blade, without Spawn, we wouldn't have this because there has to be a stepping stone, and those two movies were the stepping stone to where we are today.
Yeah. It's also like he's a like Blade. I guess both the Blade and Spawn were like, yeah, these guys are supposed to be bad guys, but they have like morals still, you know, even though they're considered like evil or a vampire, which are, you know, all that bad stuff. But like no, they're good in disguise of the bad stuff. But then, you know, you kind of get some of the other issues of like, is that a racial thing or is that just like a character thing? Like why or what is the decision of all of that? But
I think that's the reason why it was allowed. It was only allowed because they had these negative tropes to go along with it.
Wow.
And you know, I'm a cynic. I don't believe that they're not going to just give you T'Challa. They're just not going to, because he's everything. He's a leader. He's a king. He doesn't, when they ask him to be an Avenger, he's like, I'm a king first, man. I'm always going to put my people first because that's what I'm about. He is what a true leader really is. He's a badass. He's able to put all encompassing with great morality and still be it. And you don't just get that. And I feel like that's what's so important about, you know, getting these movies out the way and to let them know that you can make money and still give us a good character. So I always give props to Feige for getting it through, Nate Moore for getting it through, because I didn't think it was ever going to happen. Honestly, never thought it was going to happen.
I can agree with you 100%, you know, and the fact that we did get them is like good. Now we get to see positive representation because, like I've said many times, I think that's what has been lacking for the longest time is seeing us in a positive light. And just to switch it to something else, where I watched The Best Man, the final chapters, you got to see family, you got to see great, strong Black characters in those movies. And I think these are the paths these are the paths we need to go on further instead of going back and regressing to us being criminals and stuff like that, you know?
Gang stuff, slavery stuff, absent father stuff, broken families. In the topic of success, even to this day, the Spawn comic book reached over 300 comics, I think, a year ago. The sales of those toys are still selling, and Todd McFarlane sells them at a reasonable price.
Exactly.
There's a lot of nice coming out of this franchise, and thanks to the movie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, because when I was young, obviously younger when I saw this, I went with my uncle because, you know, we always like went to movies together, especially like action comic movies and stuff. And I had no idea what this was. And then after you know, watching the movie, I went to go buy a comic and stuff like that. There you go.
I have Spawn all over the place.
Nice.
Independent ones, I got Todd McFarlane ones, I got Spawn.
The Batman versus Spawn one that
I
just
got
came
Batman
out.
versus Spawn. I got 7 of the variant copies. So
Yeah, out of like the 50 that they came out. So yeah, I mean, Spawn is still big, but I think Spawn is big that still has legs because of this movie. Yeah, the graphics aren't the best, but in '97 the graphics aren't
1997.
the best anyway.
They spent no money doing it. They spent
Yeah.
no money doing it.
Yeah, for the time, I remember seeing. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Seeing the big flowing cape and stuff like that he had, and all that. It was from at the time in the theater. I'm like, this is great. I went to see this a few times in theaters.
Yeah.
You know, it was good. It was good. You know, but also seeing because in the beginning, you know, Michael Jai White's character was he? I don't know if he was the leader of that recon military group, or was he just a member of it? I don't
No, he was the leader.
He was
the leader of it, right?
That's why
You
they
know?
had to kill him. They had to put him as a scapegoat. They had to kill him.
Yeah.
Because everyone was going to follow him no matter what will happen.
Yeah. You know, so, but, you know, so it had some things like that. Like, yeah, he's the leader and he's a badass and he's a military man and he knows how to be a badass. So, therefore, we have to knock him off, you know, bring him down a peg. But, you know, I mean, they could have gone full out like crazy murderous with it. You know, I think they did a little bit, but he still had his morals. And I think at the end of the for me, at the end of the day, that was like the big thing. It was like, you know, he could have killed the guy that his wife remarried. That was his buddy and stuff like that. You know, but you know, he had some kind of morals. But I remember getting a comic, and I think my uncle was like, he goes, I think that's a little too much for you, because he's like, nah. He goes, I don't want you to get down that rabbit hole of comic book lines yet.
Smart man.
Yeah, you know, because at the time I was like in 7th grade, like 6th or 7th grade.
And to be honest with you, like when it came to the movies at the time, they couldn't go the way the comic was. The comic was graphic, you know, so they ended up doing the cartoon, right? But the movie had to appeal to a general audience, so they had to tone it down. I think Michael Jai White was the perfect casting to play Spawn, and I think they did a good job with toning it down, but still making it entertaining enough to where it's like, okay, yeah, this is good. So
yeah.
There was some wholesome moments how the dog could still recognize him and smell him.
Yeah, no matter what.
And when Zach, the little kid's dad, was actually about to put hands on him, he was like gonna stop him. No, that's my dad. Wait, don't do it. And you're like, okay. So he wants to be a savior to this kid. So he had some sort of sensibilities.
Even to his daughter, you know, and protecting her.
So it was his daughter, or it was Teddy's daughter?
Oh no, it was
his
Teddy's daughter.
Was it?
It was his? No, I thought it was Teddy's daughter.
I believe it's his daughter, and then Teddy's help raising. So Wanda was pregnant with her right before he died, and then Teddy's sitting there raising his daughter. That's what makes you want to kill the man.
Yeah, you're right.
It was because that was like his best friend. You know, he's like your best friend, and then you find out like, oh, you just replaced me.
Bro, you really have to watch who you keep around your loved ones. Like it's
facts.
Always. I mean, there's never going to be a scenario where you die, you return to 5 years. That's false. Like that never happens. But what if? I don't know. Oh, even in Pearl Harbor, we remember how that Ben Affleck was gone, and when
Thanos.
Snap it.
Yeah. So learn from our movies. Learn from Endgame, Spawn, and Pearl Harbor that you keep your friends away from your women.
Exactly. Oh, is she girl? Who is she? Know. None of your business.
Yeah,
you know.
Unfollow her on social media, all that. I don't care if you knew her before.
Exactly. I know her now. No more.
I know her now. Yes. No spout, and that goes for ladies too. None of your husbands can. Yeah. So it's same, vice versa. Right. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Correct.
So do you
want to
rank?
Also like
you want to rate this?
Well, real quick, it was also a good way to bring him into the spotlight, because I'm trying to look at what he did before Spawn.
Michael Jai White.
Not
like
much.
that was popular where he's like, oh, this guy is going to be in some big films.
I don't think there was really anything. I think my first introduction to Michael Jai White was actually Spawn. I can't remember anything with him before that. So
because Undisputed didn't come out yet. So I think
Mhm.
Yeah, no.
Spawn was probably my first one I saw, and I was like, "Who is this dude?" No, Tyson. Tyson was the first thing because he was Mike Tyson in that movie Tyson in '95.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
where I remember him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even think I watched. Oh, I might have watched
You
it, but
probably
I
saw
mean,
it. You
Spawn was
probably
the
did see
first. The Spawn was the first one. I mean, and then it just led into being in a bunch of stuff, and then
Mhm.
obviously
Dark Knights.
the Dark Knight. He was one of the gangster guys, which was awesome, But
Mhm.
he was in CW. He was in the Arrow verse. I forgot what character he played. So
Bronze Tiger.
Tiger. There you go.
Yeah, Bronze Tiger.
So
Mhm.
he's done some other stuff. Yeah, Tyson. There you go. 95.
I think Tyson was the first thing I saw him, and then besides that, I mean, he had some Blood and Bone is crazy. Some crazy stuff that he was in Universal Soldier. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then of course he got into the love stuff. Why did I get married? Why did I get married too? And then Black Dynamite.
Mhm.
And just the
Which is
conventions.
Which is the movie that came in second place on our tournament on Friday night. Black Dynamite was number 2. Yes, it did.
That means you knew what you were talking about.
I didn't. I disagreed with it, but I'm okay.
Really?
yeah. I wanted the Last Dragon up there. I really wanted the Last Dragon up there.
I love Bruce Leroy, so yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
I'll put a link for our conversation with Bruce Leroy and the Last Dragon and everything because we did that last year.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys spoke with him? Really?
No.
We did.
We reviewed it. We did like this.
Oh, reviewed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I gotta watch that one.
Yeah, that was super cool. I think we actually had Brian's father on, which was interesting because having somebody's perspective from that time and stuff, when it first came out.
And my dad's a doctor of psychology, so he always takes it and he analyzes it in a certain way. So
breaks it down. Yeah. He had very, very good thoughts and conversation with him and us. So, but yeah, man. Anything else with the Spawn character or?
No, just the beginning of an era, and I like to look at it, see where we come from, to know where we're going. It's good.
Mm-hmm. And I hope that they reboot it or do something else with the character, because I would really like to see it updated with some real good money put into it. Yeah. I would really like to see that. So I hope they bring him back out.
And it can still be Michael Jai White because that man is still ripped and good. So
he's probably one of the few men that I wouldn't fight. Just
for real.
Hey.
Oh, no way.
I look at him like,
he's 55. And
yeah. You're lucky I'm going to get in my car and drive away.
Mm-hmm. I have some chores. So.
I actually like my teeth, so we'll keep it out.
Cool. But yeah, man, this is just another film in our Black excellence in cinema. A little bit old school, when most of us, I think, is part of our childhood. Comic book before that was really a thing, and introduced us to one of the greatest martial artists in our generation that we don't think about it. But yeah, man, I just want to say thank you to all you guys. Do you guys have any last words for the movie? I think I already said that, but
no,
we're good.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, we just want to say thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you thought about this movie. Exactly. Did you like it? How many times did you see it? Maybe you're like a little bit younger. You don't know it, man. I recommend going to watch it. The graphics aren't the greatest, but like I said, it's from the 90s.
So 90s.
You're not going to get good graphics.
VHS, it's not going to be. You find it on YouTube. It's not going to be the greatest graphics of all time. But
I think it's on Amazon Prime, I believe, something like that. But it's on one of the streaming services. You can go check it out.
And enjoy the movie for what it is, and just tell me what you think about it. Love to hear your comments. It's going to be a continuation of our Black Excellence series, so we're going to continue to do other movies, old and young, and kind of go from where see where we're going. Once again, we can see the great movies that we're seeing out now, but see where we came from. So kind of see the future. Hopefully, it gets better and better, and hopefully, what I do is next year we're going to be talking about even better movies with these same kind of type of actors still being out there. So that's the hope. I want to hear your comments. I appreciate everyone coming in and talking about this stuff. So thank you. We'll take it out. Close us out.
Yeah, no. And then we appreciate Chillmonger and Anzo from Bigger Forward Entertainment. One last time, Chill, where can they find you at?
It is spelt just like that. Chillmonger.
Right down there.
Follow me and subscribe, and thank you for the support.
All right. And then Anzo, what you got?
I want to say Bigger Ford Entertainment, guys. You could just spell it out like Chill said. But I also want to say I appreciate you guys for what you're doing. I think we do need to highlight the Black excellence in movies. So keep doing what you guys are doing, man. It's absolutely amazing.
Cool, man. We appreciate it, man. So we're gonna keep it going for the rest of February, and also make sure you check out what we did last year. We talked about some movies last year that we felt were important to us, to the Black culture and just Black
world
representation in cinema. So, and obviously, Black Panther was probably the first movie we talked about. So how important that one is. And we talked about that a lot in this movie because it's all a comic book genre. So check it out. I'll put the link up here somewhere so you guys can go check it out. But thank you guys. Leave a comment, hit that sub. Make sure you sub to Chillmonger and Bigger Ford Entertainment as well. But we will see you guys in the next video. Later.
Thanks guys.